Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Letting Go of Her podcast. So, I was at the warehouse earlier and I was just, packing along and trying to figure out how many orders I had left and what time it was, and like calculating, like, okay, if I'm out of here at this time, then that means I can do this and that and this before I have to pick up the kids, etc., just like planning out my day. And then it like hit me. I was like, I haven't recorded a podcast episode this week and it's already Thursday. And yeah, it just like I totally didn't know what day of the week it was. Honestly, this like weekend felt, I don't know, like weird or like off. Like taking my kid to school on Monday, it just felt like we were gone for like a holiday or something. I don't know. There was like a shift in the world or something. Like I think it finally felt like the holidays are coming, right? And like it's always during this holiday season that you just have so many like random little days and little breaks off. So I think it just like finally hit like, oh, we're like in the holiday season. And so yeah, Monday just felt weird. Not to mention like dropping her off on Monday, like it was like empty at her school. I'm going to assume that a lot of people just like took Monday off and took, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to go like do stuff because we had Tuesday off because of Veterans Day. And yeah, it was just like empty. It was quiet. The parking lot was very quiet. Just walking, there's normally a lot of people. There's a lot of traffic and there wasn't really much traffic. And I was like, well, smart people also, good for you guys, like to take these vacations and stuff. And so then we had that Tuesday off, and then it's just been a weird week. Like, I just don't know what day we're in. Also, my husband is home right now, so having him home just throws off my whole week because I literally base like what I need to do every day based off of his like work and school schedule. So I am just thrown off in so many different directions. And I realize it's Thursday and tomorrow's Friday and I need to air this podcast episode and I have absolutely nothing, like literally nothing. My husband and I went on a little lunch date. It wasn't anything fancy or anything, but right now, little and nothing fancy is just kind of what we're trying to live by because we're just in this crazy busy season of life right now. And we're just waiting for him to finish school, which he has, I guess, officially now 5 weeks left, like 5 weeks. That is insane. The fact that like we are in the single digits is just, it really is crazy to me. But those last 3 weeks that he has are going to be chaos because he has school Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday all day. And then again, Tuesday, Thursday, then school's all day Saturday. And then he has school Tuesday, Thursday. And then it's like Christmas the next week. So yeah, it's just, it's a little wild. Like he'll have Thanksgiving week. And then, yeah, school Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then the following week is Christmas. So anyways, it's just chaos. It is just chaos. But so we're on a lunch date. As we were driving back home, I was like, I totally forgot to like record a podcast episode this week. I'm like, I don't even have like a topic or anything to talk about right now, just because my brain has been on survival mode and my brain has been on just like business. We actually ended up going viral this past weekend. And our, sales, every time we go viral, always like spike. And it happened, like, I'll tell you guys the funny story. So it was Sunday. We went to small group and then we went back to the warehouse to work on some orders. We grabbed some lunch, came home, ate our lunch, and then we had a few orders that we needed to finish packing here at the house. So we went ahead and we worked on that, and like I printed out the labels. I think there was like 7 orders. I printed them out and I'm sticking them on the boxes, right? And as soon as I stick it on the last one, I hear cha-ching. And if anyone sells off of eBay, whenever you sell something, it does like the little cash register sound, right? The cha-ching sound. So I heard cha-ching and I was like, okay, that's not a sound that gives me anxiety, because if my husband has his phone on loud, then oh my goodness, you will hear random little cha-chings here and there, right? Because people will be buying stuff. And so, I slap on that last label and I hear cha-ching. And I'm like, okay. And then I hear cha-ching, cha-ching. And I was like, okay, Then I hear cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And I'm like, And I literally, like, from the garage, my husband was here in the living room. I was like, babe, what was that? And then you just hear cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And I was like, what is that? What is that? Like, literally just like, what is that? I seriously thought it was my husband who was just messing around. I thought that, like, I don't know, somehow my husband had found the sound bite and was just like playing it over and over, because I literally was like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this. Like, let me just slap on these labels so I can go sit on the couch. And it was just cha-chinging. That's not a word, but it was just cha-chinging over and over and over again, like just continuously. And I was like, what is that? And my husband was like, I think you know what that means. And I was like, no. Yeah, especially because, so tomorrow, Friday, is the official release date of these new Pokemon cards. So we always know that on release day, we're always just like super busy for a couple of days. Last drop that they had for Pokemon cards, we like slowly started to get busy like the week before. And then the day that they released, our like sales tripled that day. And then after that, it was like almost like 2 weeks of just like consistent over our average. And it was so much that, like, one, we weren't really prepared, because I don't think we thought that it would spike that much. It usually spikes a little bit, but it takes maybe 1 or 2 days before we catch up. But that time around, it took about 2 weeks for us to catch up. So we had been preparing like all weekend long for this coming Friday. We just, we had so much like prepackaged, and we're like, all right, we got this, right? Like, we even had our small group start like a meal train for us, which came out like, was just wonderful, because a few days out of the week, I didn't really have to like think about dinner. I can just like focus on doing business, focus on the kids, and then like be able to come home and relax. And which was great, because that, like, the last time we had that release, I think I cried. I think I cried quite a few times at the warehouse and in the garage, because I was like, this is so much, I can't do it. So this time we were like, we're going to prepare, we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden we went viral that Sunday, right after I had slapped on that last label, which is like a good problem to have, right? And so we kind of waited for it to die down a little bit so that we're able to like print out the labels. And so we printed them out and we headed back to the warehouse. And thank goodness, honestly, thank God that we had been preparing for this drop, because it helped us be able to do this like viral orders so much more smoother than like when we've been viral in the past. So I'm very grateful. And, we just kind of had to restock a tad bit, and it hasn't been horrible yet. I think all of like Monday, Tuesday, we had maybe like 10 extra than normal, which isn't a lot, but 10 extra could either mean an extra 10 minutes to an extra hour at the warehouse. And then I think Wednesday we had like 15 extra, right? And then today we had like 30 extra. So like we already like can see the spike. So we already know that by like tomorrow it's going to be a lot extra. But we are mentally prepared. We are physically prepared. We are ready for it. And yeah, it's just kind of been a little exciting. I don't know where this rant came from. It wasn't even a rant. I was just kind of dumping as to what's been going on in my life. But also I ended up waking up sick on Tuesday. Just a cold. I was congested. My ears, there's like pressure, and like I don't know. Lately, like whenever I get sick, it feels like, this is going to sound really gross, so TMI, but it feels like it's like dripping down my ear, which I'm sure it's just like all the sinus boogers and crap, just like, dripping down my ears, which isn't a fun feeling. And yesterday, I don't want to say that I felt better or worse. I was just kind of the same as I was Tuesday. And then today, I feel that like finally everything is leaving my body, because I haven't been able to stop blowing my nose, and my nose just like is dripping like uncontrollably, which is I guess a good thing, right? It means that everything's getting out of my head, everything's getting out of my sinuses. But either way, my son woke up like sort of with a tiny bit of a cough on Sunday, and then Monday he woke up with the lime green boogers, and then Tuesday I woke up with the lime green boogers, and finally both of our boogers are clear now, which means whatever infection it was, we're like, our bodies are fighting it off. But then yesterday my husband woke up and he was like, I have a raging headache, and so he's been taking his decongestant medicine because he gets really, really horrible sinus infections. And so he's finally like just trying to take it slow. And so, you know what? That's just part of life. It's just part of this season right now, right? That like as soon as fall hits, like everyone's just sick 24/7. So, I'm very grateful that even though we are just kind of battling this little cold, that it's, it is manageable. It is okay. And we're just trying to find rest as best as we can. So, that's been fun. But I'm so grateful for just all the people who have come beside us during this like crazy season. Because it's just been wild. Monday we ended up getting our shipment order, and they said that they were going to come between 7 to 8 p.m. They ended up showing up at 4:30. So, we always have like friends who come and like help us do this. And so we had to call them and we're like, they're here, like come and help, right? And someone was bringing us dinner that afternoon, and I was like, can you drop it off at the warehouse because we're not going to be home? And my kids and I, we had a little like picnic in our van, which, they just absolutely loved because it was like dark. So I had my phone on. So it was like a creepy, like a dinner or whatever. And then I went and brought like drinks and pizza for like the guys who were helping us out. It's just, it's just been a weird couple of days. And, but we're so grateful just for the people who have come alongside us, and just for the people that like I've asked, like, please pray for this season. I can truly feel the prayers, because even though we are busier and even though things are more hectic, like the Lord's hands have been in this entire time. The fact that like we went viral, but we were already pre-prepared was all God. Like that was all God. And the fact that we had friends available who can help us that day to help, move in all of our shipment into the warehouse. That was like all God, because they had been saying for the last like 2 weeks that they were going to ship everything, and everyone was kind of just busy and still in school and stuff. And so the fact that it happened right when like everyone has a break from school, literally just all God. All of our friends who have come alongside us, who are just delivering meals for us and checking up on us, like all God. Like I have never felt like God's prayer, or people's prayers for me, so much more than in this season. Because even though it is hectic and it is crazy, like we are at a peace, and it's so wild because every time we've been in a season like this, it's just hectic and chaos. And to be honest, my husband and I, we're just at each other's throats, right? Because like I'm tired, he's tired, and we're just not being the kindest person to one another. But right now, like, this is all God. The fact that we can both just kind of sit on the couch, and sure, we're tired, but we can just like enjoy each other's presence right now because because we have these moments of like rest. It's just all God. So I'm so grateful for all the people who have come alongside us, and also for all the people who are praying for us, because it's a wild season, but it's been peaceful. So I guess with all of that being said, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about, how my husband and I went on a little lunch date. And when we were driving, I told him, hey, I don't have a podcast episode for tomorrow. He said, why don't you take a break? And I was like, you know what? I think I might just have to. And I normally don't like to. Normally, like my normal podcast like breaks are like the week of Thanksgiving and then the week of Christmas and New Year's, and then I'm back on track by the first week of January. Although with this podcast, I have been taking that whole summer off just because I'm with my kids and my husband, and I want to enjoy that time. But you know what? I think that little moments of break, when the Lord is calling you to rest and to not be doing everything, I think it's important to obey that as well. And the fact that like I'm on here on Thursday and I don't even have like a topic to talk about. Literally, I've just been ranting about what's been going on in my life the last like week. It's just like knowing like, okay, I think I can take a break. And I don't really like to do that. I don't really like to take random breaks, but it is necessary right now. I think that there are just other things that I want to focus on, and just other things that like I want to put my time and attention to. And this podcast right now is not really something that I want to put my time and attention to because I just don't have the time nor the attention to give it. So I think that I'm just going to be taking a break until the first week of January. I'm just going to take these next, maybe 6, 7-ish weeks. I don't know when the last day of the year is. Enjoy this crazy season, to be able to celebrate my husband almost being done with school, enjoying the holidays, and then come back with a refreshed mind. I think that first episode, I'm going to talk about surviving my 1-year Instagram sabbatical. I don't know if you remember that I talked about it at the end of last year, that I was going to take a 1-year Instagram sabbatical, social media sabbatical. I wasn't really ever on anything else like TikTok or Facebook or anything other than Instagram. So it was mainly like an Instagram sabbatical. And yeah, however many weeks there are until the year ends, is however many weeks I have left on this sabbatical. And I have learned so much taking a break from Instagram. And honestly, it's not what you think it is. It's not like maybe you realize you were on your phone too much, or maybe you realize that Instagram was your idol, or maybe this or maybe that. Like it's none of that. It is absolutely none of that, which is pretty incredible. I love the way that God works. But I have been thinking about what sabbatical I'm going to take next year, because I think that I did learn a lot. And I know that a year is a very, very, very long time. So if I'm going to give something up for a whole year, it's going to be something practical. It's going to be something doable, I guess. Or something that I know that's like, I don't know how to explain it. But so I've been, praying about it and thinking about it. And I think that next year's sabbatical is going to be shopping. And there's going to be obviously like terms and conditions on that, right? Like if I need deodorant, I'm going to buy deodorant. I'm not going to smell for 11 months out of the year, or like soap or shampoo, right? Like if there's anything like a necessity, then I'm going to buy it. But what I mean by shopping is like materialistic things. Like I don't need another pair of jeans when I have a whole rack in my closet of jeans. I don't need another pair of shoes when I have a whole shoe rack of shoes. I don't need another t-shirt when I have a whole closet full of t-shirts. I know I sound crazy and you're thinking, wow, that's wild and that's crazy. But I truly feel that that's what the Lord is calling me to do. Because I have a problem with shopping. I have a problem with if it's on sale, okay, cool, and then I buy it when I don't need it. I have things in my closet, shoes in my closet that still have tags on them that I never and haven't even worn. And that is not a good thing to have, right? Even when I'm bored, I'll be like, all right, I'm just going to go to Marshall's and stuff. And I don't always buy something, and I'm not spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But I am buying things that I don't necessarily need simply because it's there. And so, that's going to be my thing for next year. So if taking a 1-year sabbatical of Instagram wasn't wild enough, taking a 1-year sabbatical on shopping is even wilder, I would say. But who knows? Who knows? So I'm just making sure that, I have enough, undergarments to last me a whole year, which to be honest, I probably have the same stuff for, years now. So, but I feel if for some reason I am out to no undergarments, I can probably go out and buy a few. But that hasn't even been the case yet, so I'm just overthinking these things, which is wild to me, right? And I'm like, well, what if my shoes rip? What if my shoes that? And I'm like, well, I have other pairs of shoes that would just make it do, right? So yeah, I haven't told my husband about this sabbatical next year, but I'm sure he's going to be very happy about it. Although, to be honest, like I have a lot of stuff, but like I don't know, I'm not spending a lot of money. A lot of these things are just like clearance things, which makes it even worse because then it's really things I don't need, So anyways, I remember like reading somewhere where it was like, when you see things on clearance and you want to buy it, like, would you pay full price for it, or would you only buy it, or are you only buying it because it's on sale? And most of the time it's like, oh, it's because it's on sale and it's cute, right? Or whatever it is. But anyways, that's going to be my sabbatical for next year. That first episode of me coming back, which is going to be that first week of January, I'm going to talk about my 1-year sabbatical off Instagram and just kind of talking about what the Lord has shown me. So very unexpected break, but you know what? I think it is necessary. So January 2nd will be my next time back. Today, I am learning to let go of unrealistic expectations. I'm learning to just allow rest and that I don't need to do everything, that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to do things to honor the Lord, even if it's not what the world wants us to do, because I am a new creation.